Hello everyone. So I just kind of wanted to go back to what it is I was showing you. There's a couple of things that I wanted to show you, which is one, that the title should be centered and that this paragraph should always be indented. The first line should be indented. So I did that here already, but I'm going to go back to how it should be. It should look like this. And what you do is, in order to center it, you just go straight up and it's right there in the middle. Control E for me. I always press center just in case. And it says many librarians, and all I have to do is press tab, and it does it automatically for me. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, please let me know. And again, if you're going to start a new paragraph, notice that when I did it, I'm going to press period and I press enter, it did it for me automatically, which is awesome. So that way you don't have to keep redoing it yourself over and over again. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is sort of titles here. If you want, you can add titles, okay, or something like a header of some sort. And they kind of tell you here, when using headings in MLA, title the main section's level 2 headers in a different style font than the paper's title in smaller caps. Okay, so historical context. So let's just say we wanted to put literature review. Now they're saying it should be heading 2. So let's see if we highlight it, it should do it for us automatically. Okay. And then we just need to make sure that it is Times New Roman, 12-point font. So it should look a little bit like this, and it shouldn't be a different color. So we're going to make sure that it is black, automatic. But I don't see it doing it the way that they did it. Paragraph after the level 2 header starts flush left. Interesting. So I guess you could do that for now. Historical context, literature review. I don't really care. If you want to do it that way, that's perfectly okay. Fine with me. And then you just start your literature review, right? And notice that it's not in Times New Roman 12-point font, so I got to make sure that everything is Times New Roman 12-point font. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be sure to answer them. Okay, now here's something very, very important. Population and technological changes. This is where another header, right? But it's a different one. Now, here is a quote, very important. Make sure that anything that is not in your own words is in double quotation marks. And even if it is in your own words, you should still cite it properly, which means you add the author's last name and the page number. If you have a book that has no author, then it might not be the most reliable source, right? Because you won't be able to cite it properly. So I highly suggest choosing something that has an author because it's most likely been peer reviewed and hopefully it has page numbers. If there's no page numbers, you would just put Dan Hoff and that's it. Again, here's the example of how sort of requoting works. And again, you put Dan Hoff and then the page number. Very important, right? And this, it says Hurt 127. This is how you know, even though it was in your own words, you still get the idea from somebody else. And this here is the page numbers from Hunt. So it will be automatically assumed that after you put Hunt once that you're going to be using Hunt until you change it otherwise. Here's an example of a sort of, let's see if we can find an example of a block quote. Let's see here. I don't see a block quote. We're going to keep going. Ah, here it is. So anything that's in italics that is not a heading, I will assume it automatically is a book. So you want to write that down. Anything that you see on here that's italicized, that is not a header, is a book. This is how we distinguish a article, which is in quotation marks, versus a book, which is in italics. And the way that we emphasize a longer quote or block quote is by indenting each line, right? Indenting each line. And notice that the period goes on the inside instead of the outside, and you still put the page number if you already tell us who the author is. In this case, it's John Nicholson. Okay, very, very important. Again, you have to indent every line, and here's where things can get a little frustrating. So let's just keep writing until we get to anything that's more than 4 lines is considered block quoting. So I'm just typing in weird words, so if you hear a lot of noise, don't worry about it. It's just me typing really fast. Okay, so we have ourselves a block quote. What you do is you press the tab button, and you'll see it only tabs once, but if you go to the second line and tab again, look at that. Nice. I'm going to change this to a period, and let's just say you want to put Hager 25 on the outside. Here's where it gets a little complicated, which is after you do this, you go to the next line like this. Excuse me, sorry. So you go like this, and you used to go like this, but I guess it shows here that you can go like this part of blah 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 blah, and then you just keep going on. So yeah, that will be how you do a block quote for a longer essay. Okay, and then the most important thing here is we're not going to have any notes. You shouldn't need that. Is the works cited page. Works cited page. So the works cited page can be really frustrating. But if you need to see a great example and that tells you inch by inch what's going on, this is the way to do it. And notice it's in alphabetical order and it goes by the last name of the author. But let's see if there's any articles. Here's one that has no author, all right? But it's from the University of Virginia Library. Here, Historical Census Browser. It still goes in alphabetical order, HIHUDR. So if there is no author and you are using a source with no author, you still have to cite it correctly and you still have to put the title, right? You want to put the title. All right, so that's how that works. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be here to try and help you on every inch of MLA formatting because I want you to be successful. Thank you.